Welcome to Ngosti Talk Shows. Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Challenges we have had to overcome in 2020.
Find your own voice.
The world has become united by the unseen, knowing there are no guarantees for tomorrow.
Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Let the world hear your voice and be filled within.
For the day has come for you to be a great leader.
The time has come to break away from the pain, distraction, experience the unthinkable.
Find your own voice. Lead from within. Welcome to Ngosti Talk Show. Over to you, Nadia. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi everyone, this is Nadia Dubiel here. I am body intelligence coach and I have a Superhuman Academy where I teach people basically how to become yourself because we live in a world where a lot of people are very confused because of the world and systems that we live in. We kind of lose touch with ourselves and we don't realize how powerful we are. So basically I teach people how to become powerful within themselves. Thank you. So let's have an interesting chat today about self-development industries. That's the topic that we're sticking to. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nadia. So our topic today is why self-development industry is broken. So over to you, Nadia. Would you like to explain the topic to our audience, please?
Yes, of course. I think more than ever, it's very important to talk about this and just discuss it so people actually can hear like what's happening and why self-development industry is broken, because I do believe it is broken. There is like vast amount of coaching out there. Of course, there is demand for it. That's why there's so many coaches, because everybody, we want to improve our lives, but what happens is because we are so disconnected from ourselves, we don't know what we want and we don't know what is really good for us. So we believe all these beautiful, shiny websites and people talking basically about symptoms and wounds and things that we're experiencing. And they're using obviously marketing to help others people, and a lot of people actually invest and spend a lot of money into all these therapies, into all these courses, basically time, emotions, and they get an illusion basically that their life improved, but for probably 90% or even more people, this is it's not really helping them, because I've done so much research and I know that like 90% of things that we come across Facebook, we come across on Google, is just fluff. Basically, it gives people temporary release, basically, and people think that they really truly healed themselves. Of course, there is a lot of different modalities that work. I'm not saying that none of this work, but what people have to be aware of is that a lot of coaches in today's world are people that have no passion for it. They do it because it's fashionable. They do it because there's demand for it. And of course, they do it because there's a lot of money in it. And their heart is not in it. They are not doing this to help other people. They are doing it just to make money. And they create this so-called programs and courses basically that have nothing to do, they're not coming from the place of integrity and heart and service to help others, but just to make money basically. And I would say it's probably like 90% of offers that we see on the internet today are completely fake. They look beautiful. They sound perfect. They sound like they're really speaking to your heart. But at the end, you're gonna give them your money. You're gonna give them your time, and what you're gonna end up with is basically no end results, no changes, and that's basically. These people go on 1 or 2 courses. Basically, they create this painful life stories that people can relate to. But there's a lot of coaches out there basically that they're teaching people how to change their life, when if you really look into them, if you look at their life, they have they have nothing basically on you. There are people teaching people how to become a millionaire. There are people teaching people how to create a relationship if they themselves are not in relationship, if they themselves are not millionaires. So really, what I can highly recommend to anyone is to, before you are attracted to something on someone because it looks pretty and it sounds perfect, just do some research before and ask around. I know from my own experience, I've done it. I spent probably £50,000 in my time for self-development.
You did what? Sorry?
I spent probably about 50.
£50,000.
Yeah, at least.
Really?
Yeah, about 50K for self-development. And I learned, yeah, how crazy is that? And I would say at least probably 40% of it was a complete waste of money and energy and hope and emotions. It was bad because I didn't do my due diligence basically and checked who these people are. If you're looking for a coach, the best advice I can give people is to join someone through the word of mouth, because these people went through the experience. Basically they can see who that person is and what they truly offer. And yes, there is so many reasons. I can talk about self-development for so long because I've been doing it for so many years now, and I wasted a lot of money. So I understand, and also I was tricked so many times to think basically that my life changed when it really didn't. So basically these are my main reasons why I chose this topic. Oh, sorry.
I think personal self-development is not as easy as people think, because I've met people who have been to Tony Robbins. I've met people who have been to so many coaches. They said to me they don't like it because they were told that if this course things is going to work. And then but I look at myself, I'm like, it's not what they say. You have to every choice that you make, every decision that you make in life, when someone says I'm selling this, so you have got to understand that the process, you have to look at the business process. When you are starting a business, there's going to be ups and downs. But if someone comes to you and say, I have this program, is going to play magic, there's no such thing as magic. It's going to require your time. It's going to require your tears. It's going to require you basically to get to where you need to go. It's going to require you getting up very early, maybe 2 hours before when everybody else is sleeping. So if you're just gonna go to an event, like Tony Robbins is a good guy. He's a very, very, I like him. But if you're gonna go and buy the products, he's selling a product for $2,000 or $3,000, and you have in your mind that he's gonna play magic, I'm gonna be successful just like that. No, it ain't gonna work that way. That means you're gonna have to, in order for you to get to where you need to go, you're gonna have to buy more products. So it needs some common sense, because with me, when I studied personal self-development, I basically started with I think I went to 3 psychologists and I didn't get it. 3 times I didn't get it until actually something in my mind triggered something. But I got it when I was doing with Paul McKenna. It was when I was using my mind, because his program is more about mindset. So it was when I think my mind had then made a decision that you want to listen to me. My thoughts had made a decision because I was labeling everything. So that's when everything decided in my head that I'm going to make a decision and make some changes in my life. But I had gone through 3 psychologists and nothing was happening. So what I'm saying to people like myself, if it was before I go to an event and someone says, I'm selling a product, it's £2,000, it's gonna play magic with your company, is good. When you go out here, you're gonna feel different. I'm not gonna buy it, because I know the process of life. First, you need to understand the principles of life. Everything is a journey. Everything takes time. You have bad days. Today is like grieving. It's like anything else. It's like marriage. It's a process. So why would you think self-development, you're going to look at it? I can't believe you spent 50 grand, Nadia. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. I actually was very, very lucky. When I started going to a business event, I met this girl, the business event. That night we made friends. So every time she was texting me when there's an event in London, we'll go. But then she gave me a tip and she was, Nomsa, I need you to look at something. Every time we go to a different event, there's always the same people who are standing up to buy the program. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, wherever you go, when you buy these programs, you're going to go to somebody else, they're selling 2 grand. Somebody else, they're selling 2 grand. Somebody else, 2 grand. But it's not you. In order for you, Nomsa, to actually build your business, you need to keep going back, buy more, buy more. It's stage, it's like a school. And she explained to me, it's like education. When you do, let's say you're doing let's say you're doing a degree, you have to go do levels, you have to do modules. So she was like, that's how it works. But if you are just starting in the business, she was like you, she spent lots of money, but she didn't know. But then she helped me a lot. So over to you.
I think I need to explain a little bit of my story, why I spent so much money. Because, most of this money that I spent on self-development, it was more of investment in myself. Because that's what it is. It's investment in yourself. But of course, there are risks out there. And sometimes you invest in things that don't work. And it's the same with self-development. It's like give and take kind of a thing. But now I have only 2 mentors after 8 years of research, like obsessive research, that I'm listening to. I don't invest any more money with any other companies, basically, because self-development is an ongoing life training. It's not like you are going to do one course and your life changed, because imagine that for 30, 40, 50, 20 years, basically, you created this character, this personality with these negative behaviors, with these unconscious beliefs, and your body, your brain basically is wired in certain way. So if you want to change your life, if you want to obviously you have a life, goals, things that you want to achieve. And if you are not going to, and obviously you're not going to just change it during one night or 3 weeks or even 3 months. It's going to take a while, basically, to completely rewire your body and your brain, because basically what you have to do is you just have to create in your brain. And with new, obviously, thought patterns, new behaviors, new actions, basically, but you have to know where you want to go. And, a great coach, good coach, will teach you how to do it. They will teach you about what is there within yourself that is really sabotaging and stopping you. Because what is missing in a lot of development industry is they teaching you all this beautiful, they're talking about all these fantasies, where you want to be, but they are not telling you and teaching you where you truly are, basically. So they are not teaching you about your reality, where are you now, and what is really happening in your head, unconscious mind, that is really in the way of you being successful and amazing. And this unconscious stuff has a lot of layers. It's like I'm still learning about this because it's very tricky. It's not easy to see basically what your reality is, where you truly are. And one of my mentors, William Whitecloud, he's just one of the most amazing people I've met. He said this wonderful thing that imagine if you want to get somewhere in your life. So let's give an allegory of traveling. Let's say you want to go to Dubai and you want to get there, but there is no way, no chance you're gonna get there if you don't know where you are now. So if you know that you're in London, of course you know how to get to Dubai. If you know that you're in New York, you know how to get into Dubai. But if you are somewhere and you don't do that inner work and learn about yourself, there is no freaking way you're gonna learn how to get to your destination. So doing inner work, learning about crap and shit that's happening in yourself, in your life, it's a basic step. And if your coach is not teaching you that, if your coach is not telling you, doesn't know you better than you do, leave as soon as possible. If you get a refund, basically get a refund. But because it's incredibly important, and this is law of attraction, this is full law of attraction. It's not only about visions and goals and aspirations and where you want to be, but 50% of the work goes in where you are, because you have to know exactly where you are. How to get there. And that is the most of the money I spent on learning about crap that's happening in my head, basically. And there's only one company that I know that is teaching you about this, and this is called Natural Success. And they obviously owned by William Whitecloud, and he's offering actually 6-week free course learning you about this. It's free. It's incredible. So it's, and it's a lot of coaches are not teaching you that. They're teaching you some formulas, magical pills, as you said, magical stuff, and but if your life, just look at your life and see if it really changed. Are you in the place where you are now? And then you can judge, because we need to judge if it's worth your time and worth of your energy. And I spent a lot of money for the courses, and one course used to be $4,000, and that was and I spent at least probably $15,000 on like one kind of curriculum, and it was the best investment of my life, this 15K that I spent, because I learned about myself. I learned not only about my dark side and what's holding me back and who am I, where am I now, but also what is true for me. Because a lot of coaches as well are teaching you what they think is the best for you, what you should be doing, or this abundance, prosperity, financial freedom, all of these things. But it doesn't matter. What matters is what you and your heart truly wants. How well do you know yourself? Because that could be mission and vision for someone else. So there's so much. I don't know whether your thoughts, Namza. It's inner work is so important, and self-development industry from what I've seen and what I know, and all the money that I wasted on these crappy, horrible people, actually, I'm gonna say there is a lot of horrible coaches out there. They don't give a damn about your good. All they want is your money, and they're selling all these beautifully packed high-end products for thousands of pounds, but there is no depth in it. It's just, you know, illusion that they're selling you. It's so you really, guys, you really have to be careful, and definitely doing research, asking people, basically. And you know, I'm not saying that only because, you know, it just words, but I can really say that this, you know, that the work that I come across really works, because my life changed. Like, I live in a beautiful place. I have just the most wonderful men in the world. My life is just so, I have amazing job. I'm doing things that I love, only because I learned about my dark side. Only because I'm aware what was really holding me back and stopping me from having all of these things. And the best thing about it is that I didn't even dream that my life can be so great and I can meet such a wonderful guy. So it's like, if you really have a good coach, and it's only few of them, really, like, it's only few of amazing people out there that are real, and they will give you this really magical formula for your life, because most of them are just mumbo jumbo, really, and they cost a lot of money and a lot of investment. So what are your experiences? How long have you been in self-development?
Me, I have not spent, I don't think I have spent, I think I have spent 15 grand at university, but not personal self-development. I think I spent 15 grand for my degree, but the rest, I think I spend more money on coaching for my business, because it's very, very important with the personal development, the self-development in India. I think it's the mind. You know, if you, like myself, I've made a decision in 2009, my relationship wasn't working. I sat down and I said, okay, I went through these 3 psychologists. They were amazing people, but I hadn't made a decision for me to actually change my life. But then I took Paul McKenna's programs, and it changed my life, because at that moment, it made me realize who I was, and it made me make a decision who I wanted to become. But there was no formula. There was nothing. It was me looking back to when I was a child, and doing every layer, every lie that I had told myself, and doing everything. You've got to do the work. If you meet somebody that says, you know what, I have this program and they play magic, that's why I like Peter Sage. He says, if you are here for magic pill, or somebody saying you come here, you're gonna go home feeling better, that you are in the wrong place. Self-development, it doesn't make you feel like that. So I actually had to take every layer, every mistake. I had to look at every mistake that I have made and forgive myself. I had to break every chain that I've put myself, every chain. I had to break away from it. And then I had to look at who is Nomsa within myself. I read a book. It's been written by somebody else. I'll read it, but I have to do the work. There is no such thing as you read a book and the book is going to play magic and change you. There is no such thing. So I had to read a book. Sometimes I read a book, and then I'll create my own self-development. But it was a journey that comes with you willing to face the truth. It comes with you willing to actually change. If you are somebody that is doing things, because some people read a book or they listen to audio, they start behaving like the person who did the audio, and they start behaving like you listen to Oprah. Her story is amazing, and people start behaving like they are idols. So I don't do all those things. I had to search within, who is me? And that came with a price, having to walk away from the people that I thought they were my friends, having to walk away from the things that I love, because I realized that I didn't love it. I wasn't doing it because it was me. It wasn't me. So I had to walk away. I had to make some changes in my life. And that comes with you changing your character, changing your image, and it requires hard work. Basically, you have to do the work. And some people can say personal self-development is something like we say you listen to gossip talk show and tomorrow you'll be okay. You have to do the work. You have to be willing to listen to somebody's story, create your own story. And that it works. But otherwise, it doesn't work, because even though sometimes the people say it's something that is scientific tested, it works. It doesn't work because it has not been tested to you. If it has been tested, we are all different people. What I went through myself, it doesn't mean it's going to work for somebody else. So you have to create your own journey. You have to read or go to a coach. I have a coach, I have a business coach, I have a matchmaking coach. They are all different. But when I listen to them, I have to come up with my own version of my business. And that's how it works in life. And I pay them, but they don't build my business. I create my business. Before I understood, I thought they would be able to do all the work, but they don't. It's you that have to do the work. So that's why self-development is broken, because you need somebody who will explain deep. Like I was a Christian myself, Nadia. I go to church. I listen to a pastor. He's preaching. This is what God is. This is God, the blood of Jesus. I say I cast out the blood of Jesus. But there was no explanation. There's some laws of things that I didn't understand as a Christian. I didn't understand it. I go to church wearing ripped jeans. I thought it was okay. I go to church, go and buy clothes, showing my boobs. And I'm like, I'm following the world. I thought it was okay. But until I started following, there's one Nigerian pastor that I started following on YouTube. And I listen to him very, very carefully. And I write down the notes. And then I look at my life. I was like, what the heck is this? Who is Nomsa? So I think I'll go with the story deep later. Over to you.
Yeah, it's every single person we go through. So heroes, it's called hero story. Basically, it's we all go through the same process. We grow up. We are being born as these beautiful, innocent creatures. Then as children, we get wounded basically by our parents, by our upbringing. It doesn't matter how wonderful your upbringing is, you always get wounded. And then we go into hiding, and then we meet a mentor. So in your case was this Nigerian pastor. And of course, every single one of us meets a mentor. It doesn't have to be necessarily a mentor. Mentor can be also suffering and pain and hardship that we experience as well, because they're a great teacher and they make us realize things and they change us. And I love what you said, Namza, about self-development, that it's not all beautiful, joyful, fluffy things. It's hard work. It's tough. It's not comfortable, because you really have to face your demons. You really have to be strong enough first. You really have to be ready to change. So a lot of people obviously they suffer, they're not happy, but they're not ready to change because they're not ready to take that responsibility, self-responsibility, to change their life and create the life that they want. Because obviously you need to be mature enough in some ways to do it, because it does require you facing your darkest demons, darkest sides, darkest things, basically horrible things that are not serving you. And it requires a lot of courage. It requires you to be vulnerable, and we are conditioned basically since we're children that vulnerability is a negative emotion, and we're getting away of it. We want to avoid it because the feeling of it is just it's just creepy, horrible, whatever. We just feel exposed, and we're afraid that we're gonna be hurt. And if you're afraid, and it's one of the biggest fear, because we unconsciously think that we're gonna die if it's gonna happen. So it is really, really strong. So yeah, self-development industry is incredibly tough industry. It's tough, and it's really require this level of own leadership, basically. And you cannot, person who goes into self-development industry, you really have to realize that it's not your coach who's gonna do the work for you. It's not about them doing it for you. You really have to grow up, basically, to take destiny, to take your life in your own hands. And a coach is just a guide, basically. They are not going to tell you exactly what you have to do, because it's very disempowering. It doesn't teach you self-responsibility. It doesn't make you realize a lot of things. But good coach is not going to give you the precise step-by-step process what you have to do, but he's going to let you work out basically what to do for yourself, because what works for someone else is not going to work for you. Of course not, because we all have different experiences. We all have different traumas. We all have different levels of awareness, and we need to learn different lessons in life. But the structure, if they have a good structure put in place, coaching structure, it's always going to help you. But it's so important to treat everyone as an individual being. I personally think that one-to-one coaching is the best way, but a lot of coaches out there obviously are moving away from that model, because it's not sustainable. It doesn't give you money, basically, and it's better to do group. So everyone is going into group coaching, but there is nothing that works actually better than one-to-one coaching. And of course, to do one-to-one coaching, you have to be ready for it. So I highly recommend people to do some group coaching before as well, because you have to kind of have some level of self-awareness before you actually hire a one-to-one coach, because this one-to-one coach will serve you deeper and better when you have when you work out a lot of things already. So he can take you higher much quicker than basically you just do that deep inner work with them first. Oh gosh, where was I? But yeah, so basically in general, self-development is not about all this fluffy, beautiful, shiny, magical things, but it is tough, it's difficult, and you need to be ready for it, because it is comfortable, and you need to learn about yourself, really, and it's all about you putting effort into it. And I know in the future, just briefly, I'm going to touch about it, artificial intelligence, because that is what's coming. And the way the world is going now when it comes to technology, it doesn't look good at all, because we are starting to rely on devices to make decisions for us already. We have Alexa, Google Home. We ask them to do things for us. We've got electric cars, we've got self-driving cars, and so on. And we're kind of losing ability to decide for ourselves. And what's behind it is that eventually we will completely be reliant on something outside of ourselves. Like Elon Musk is working on this Neuralink on this microchip that you can implement in your brain, and you just can download and change everything in your body in, you know, with 5 minutes. And it's the most horrible thing that can happen. And I know millions, billions of people will be so enthusiastic about it because they're gonna change their life in 5 minutes. But what's going to happen is they're gonna have only this illusion. The brain basically will be just under this illusion that their life is different, when in reality they didn't change from within themselves. They didn't put that required effort. They didn't have used their own will, basically. Because that's where the magic is. When you're using your own will, your free will, to make different choice, that's when you truly transform. It's not when you take that limitless pill or expect some. So as a bad coach as well is coach that is telling you what you should do, what you shouldn't be doing. They should be only directing you, and so on. So yeah, the best thing you can do for yourself is just to use your own will, and that's what's not comfortable. And yeah, so yeah, it's coaching is very interesting. Self-development industry is very interesting industry, basically, and there's a lot of misconceptions about it. So I'm glad that we're talking about it. So yeah.
Do you know how much self-development is worth?
No idea. Probably billions. I'm sure. Like
the global personal development market size was estimated at 38.28 billion in 2019, is expected to reach, that was 2020, 39.99 billion in 2020. So that means now I think it's like 40 million self-development, which is basically, sometimes I listen to people, like sometimes when they say why, like sometimes you listen, you're watching somebody and maybe they go to an event and then somebody asks the person who is running that event, why are you here? They are like, I want to find the happiness in my life. By happiness is easy. If you want to be happy, you can just think a happy thought and then you'll be okay. You just don't have to go get coaching. You can just be happy, dance music, and just be happy. So, and then that's when I realized that actually there are some people that don't understand what is self-development is. Because it's self-development, when you actually approach it, you have to be prepared to go deep within and find that somebody, not everyone is meant to help us, but sometimes we find somebody. It's like in Ghost Talk Show, I'm actually, because I need to build something to help people, but I need a system that is going to continue helping people. Not that I'm going to say, you pay £2,000 and then everything is going to be happy jabby. Life is not like that. So I need to find a system that is going to work for everybody else. If the speakers are actually having their products, if these products is going to work for the audience, or is it just working for that moment? Because with the Hope Springs Eternal Introduction Agency, I basically charge my clients, but then they have coaches, they can always come back. I don't just match them and say goodbye, I'll see you later. There's a process of support after they meet each other, to understand also, because people don't understand what the marriage is, the process of getting married. Sometimes you get clients, they come to you and say, I need a woman, a rich woman or a rich man. Why do you want that rich man? Everything is a process. Everything is in the mind. So you have to, basically, if you are prepared and you say you want this rich man and you want this rich woman, there's got to be a plan. You have to have a business plan. How are you going to do this? when you do find this thing that you say you want, this woman or man that you want, how are you gonna look after this man or this woman for this relationship to last for a very, very long time? And it's a process as well. You have to discover who you are as well. Like myself, I have my children and their dad. There's some things that I had to change in my life, in my personal life, my character, my image, and everything. And I had to surrender myself. But I'm not surrendering my life, my joy, or everything. I had to surrender and let the other person into my world completely. And when I let them in, there's still a room that I need to understand that we are two different people with a two different journey. And like with Ngozi Talk Show, I have to understand that my beliefs and other people's beliefs are different. And then I have to support the people with their beliefs. And if I'm hanging out with somebody who wants me to support their beliefs, who don't support mine, then that relationship is not going to work. That is self-development as well. I've listened to so many coaches, they say you have to seduce the clients and tell them you have to manipulate, use the psychology to manipulate the clients, to sell them your products, and then what? So that is the problem. And I'm a psychologist, and they come to me and trying to manipulate me. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, it ain't gonna happen. I am not going to buy your products. So it works for other people, but it doesn't work with me. When somebody says, I go to business event and they say, you do this. This is how you sell. I'm listening to somebody who's teaching me how to sell products, and they're like, you have to manipulate the clients and they sell the products and you have to do this. I'm like, but this does not sound, it sounds like before you would do it to me, before I actually took my psychology, or before I even took it, and not even somebody who is into personal development, they will say, no, I'm not doing that. But it doesn't work. Like with the matchmaking, finding love is a decision. When somebody comes in and they say, how does the agents work? I explain, I'm not going to try to change their mind, because it's a decision that they have to make. And then I say, if they're not sure, I say, here's my mobile number. When you actually have a think about it, you decide you want to go ahead with it, just let me know. I'll be available to help you. But I ain't seducing somebody, because I don't think it's right to seduce somebody to do what you want. Over to you, Nadia.
I think this is amazing, actually, that you mentioned that, because that is how a lot of people become victims, because they, exactly as you said, they're being manipulated into buying into things, this shiny, beautiful courses and object, because a lot of coaches are being told and taught basically to use that manipulation, to use that illusion, basically to get more sales. It's all about sales, and pushing people to buy things that have no value or quality, basically. And that's how I wasted a lot of my money as well. Probably I would say, thousands of pounds, basically, onto this kind of products, because a lot of people, coaches, salesmen, as great salesmen, they're not great coaches, but they're great at selling. And basically they're selling a product that is really bad, but they can really word it so well. And when you know yourself, you will be able to see through this basically illusion. Not always, of course, because what they do is they're using emotions. They're using emotions to sell, and that is how sales industry basically is built. That's the foundation of movie industry, entertainment industry, sales. It's all emotional based. So they're making you excited. They're making you connect on an emotional level, basically, and then they sell. and then you buy, obviously, because you have that strong emotional attachment to get it. Basically, nothing else matter. A lot of people spend money on that they don't have because the person, the coach, the salesman was so amazing. They take credits basically, but of course sometimes it's great, it's amazing. That's, you know, a lot of people, you know, waste a lot of money because they cannot really see through the lies, the manipulation basically it's being used. So I would say that's great, Namza, that, you know, you, maybe I can ask you a question. How can you tell, how do you know when someone is trying to manipulate you, to push you to buy something?
Nadia, you know, when somebody's talking to you, they are being authentic, and they tell you the products they're selling, and when somebody starts saying this is going today, but tomorrow is not going to be available for you, that is manipulating me to make a decision right now and to buy it. And the other thing they say, what do they say as well? They say, if you, okay, there's lots of different products that they keep putting up. Like if you buy this today, you get this. If you buy this today, you get this. If you buy this today, you get this. So if I'm selling my products and I know that whatever the products that I'm selling is real, and this person, whenever they buy it, whenever they're ready, they buy it, they're going to benefit out of it. Why am I trying to seduce you to actually buy that product? So to me, basically, you have to use everything in psychology. Every decision that you make, you have to ask yourself, like, if you really want to buy a product to somebody, when somebody is selling something, they explain what they are selling and they explain the benefits of you buying that product. And sometimes they say you have to, it's like if you go home and you make a decision, like if you don't make a decision straight away, then you're going to change your mind. For me, if I want to buy something, like let's say if I'm really searching for a coach, and I'm really searching for a coach, and I take my time to find out about your industry, what you do, I'm searching for it. And if you are a coach who has been recommended, and actually I think the recommended people are better than the people that are seducing you, because every person that I have worked with, they've been recommended by people. Or Lisa from Matchmaking Institute, she had 100 me on LinkedIn and asked me if she can work with me. And I think she was sent by God, because I was looking for her anyway. I was looking for a matchmaking coach, but then she appeared from nowhere and said, Nomsa, I like your website. We are Matchmaking Institute. Would you like to take training with us? So I was like, oh yeah, I've been looking for training, where to do the training. Yes, I would love to do that. But she didn't seduce me. There's people that I work with, they didn't seduce me. And basically, when somebody is trying really hard to convince you that their products is awesome, that's not right. I don't know, in my own opinion, that's not right. There are so many techniques that people use basically to sell their products. Over to you.
Yeah, of course, there are a lot of techniques, basically sales techniques that, you know, every single person, every single salesman, coach, industry is using. Basically, marketing campaigns are the best way to sell products. And I don't, of course, it's a great tool, because you have to make people aware of your products, but yes, creating sense of urgency. So obviously this is only one occasion, it's gonna expire in one day, all of this stuff that makes you more emotional. It creates that sense of urgency and makes you feel like stressed out, and that's why basically a lot of people buy. And this trick will always be used. That will never change, to be honest, because it works. Basically, it does work. And you know, but yeah, a lot of prices out there, like crossing the prices, sales or whatever. That's just, you know, another trick, basically, that something is worth £50,000, but today we're selling it for 5. That is like crazy. Like some of the people go to horrible lies, and, like, you know, that to basically to sell it. It's but yes, selling, manipulation, emotions. So I would say as well, I just want to add that, you know, people should really watch how they feel, the emotions, what people are saying, what kind of words. Like, I think one of the best trickster that I ever come across, this person was incredible, just an amazing salesperson, and they trick and probably 99% of the audience to buying product that didn't exist. And this person told us a story that he's a billionaire. Oh my gosh, he was so amazing. But what he did before the event started, he spoke to every majority of people in the audience. He made this personal. He made it personal. He spoke to every single person. He asked and he spoke about important things, about what are important things to these people. And he was picking up the words, things that matter to every single person. And then when the event started, when we started talking, he was using the words, basically important words, to every single person on the audience. He said, he mentioned things that were important to these people that we spoke to, and everybody was sold without realizing. He was a genius. Oh my gosh, this guy was incredibly intelligent and talented liar, basically. But he was so good. And, you know, I just remember, like, when we spoke, then during his talk, he was using the words that matter to me, that are the most important, that I'm emotionally attached to. And I didn't even have to listen to, I listened to maybe 1/3 of his talk, and I was sold, basically. And obviously I wasted money because it was £5,000, this training. But yeah, it was just complete lie, illusion, manipulation. And it was manipulation at its best. Amazing stuff. So yeah, I would say really pay attention, be an observer of your environment, of things that's happening, and don't just go blindly run for something. Think it through before you buy, because people buy when they're emotional. It's so just be aware of it, guys, because a lot of people, a lot of coaches are incredibly talented salespeople, and they might have, of course, I'm not saying the products might be incredible, but majority of products are just mumbo jumbo. They're nothing. They're worth nothing, basically, but they great salesmen behind them. So really reading, letting, word of mouth, organic, basically, how do you call it? I forgot the word, basically, but yeah, organic marketing, whatever you call it, is just the best, the most genuine thing. So
I met this guy, and he wanted matchmaking to be matched, and he said to me, basically, I traveled to London and I went to see him, and we had a chat. So I do have a brochure, but it's a digital one. So then after we finished, and it was like, you don't have a brochure like to give it to me by hands or something. I was like, it's all digital now, so I'll send it to you by email. And I was like, oh, and I was like, listen, when you're looking for love, we are not looking to read the magazine to find love. You are looking me, I'm here. I'm giving you my time. The money that you pay, you're paying my time for me to go and find and search that relationship for you. So I know you've been to other agencies, maybe where they have glamorous things. I said, what are you going to do with the glamorous things? You come to me, you're looking for love. I can give you things to read. Digital is fine. But when it comes to love, we need to focus on what we're here. Why are you here? You want a woman because you are busy. You was working high-end jobs. And I said, just because you're busy, that's why you are single. So I said, let's focus on what you are paying for. Let's not focus on the magazine. Let's not focus on the brochure, because brochure is like a Bible, like Tony Robbins says. It looks glamorous, but is it gonna find the woman or a man that you want? And then I always explain to my clients that I don't carry glamorous brochures like everybody else. I turn up, I have these fancy things, and I say to them, you are here to do the work, I'm afraid. Because the work comes within. You got to understand that, because when you meet a woman, you need to be coached. That's why you need to focus on. Before you go on date, you're paying your money to be coached, to go and meet somebody else. You're not paying your money for me to give you the magazine to read. So I always explain to people that I'm not here to give you the magazine to read and how to find a man, how to find. I post on social media, but not for my clients to give you a fancy one. Then you read that you are here to do the work in person, in the flesh. So let's do the work. So that's how I work. And I have coaches, and I always tell them, you do the work. Let them do the work. If they say they want the brochure, send them the brochure. But the brochure, it talks about the agency. It really has nothing to do with how you're going to communicate with a woman, or how you're going to communicate with a man, because these are the things that when I met other people, they were telling me that. And this woman was telling me that, okay, Nomsa, now I've registered. And then what? I was like, I need to do the process. Let me do the process. And she was like, but some agencies, when you finish, you have to be given the magazine. And I was like, you're not here to choose the men in the magazine. You're choosing the men in the flash, not in the magazine, by how they look. I said, you have to meet somebody and choose, or I have to send that person to you in the flesh. And that's why you're paying money for. So some people don't. I'm glad actually that we've had this conversation, because it does help when you are listening to somebody. As a company owner, you are listening to somebody because you bought the products from somebody else. And it helps when you listening to the story, because that story, it means that story is going to help my company, for me not to do the same thing, to understand what works with the clients, what doesn't work. And I've seen it when I go to other business events. I really wanted to buy products, and Desmond O'Connor said, no, sir, you don't buy products. When you go to a business events, you have to attend the free business events. If you have to pay, it's fine, but don't go and spend $2,000 for a business, for somebody programs that you don't need. And at the time, I didn't know what he meant, but now I understand that it becomes an obsession. Taryn said to me she spent, I think it's $60,000 as well, or $100,000 for personal development. I was like, are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. I don't think, maybe I would have, if I didn't meet people who have gone through it, maybe I would have done it. I don't know, but I have not done it yet. And I don't think that I would do it. I charge that money to headhunt for people because it's hard, it's tough. So, but I don't think I can actually spend that money for personal development. Is tough. It's like I wanted to go to Andy Harrington's speaking course, but then I realized that actually, okay, if I go speaking coach and learn to speak, and I'm gonna have to recreate. I'm gonna have to recreate it to my own style, how I want to do it. And then I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I think I'm gonna need to have a one-on-one coaching. Like with the music, I used to have one-on-one. I went to take music school, but then when I finished for my voice to continue, I used to have one-on-one music coach. I just go to a house, we do the music warm-ups, and I'm done. I go home. So I think like one-on-one, your advice is the best. So it's 2:00. Any words of encouragement, Nadia?
Yeah, I think it was a great talk and so important to talk about it. Yeah, very interesting chat. So yeah, all I just want to say that guys, just be careful, be an observer. Don't just go there blindly buying, selling. Really work out what you want and what you need first. Don't just go there out of the blue, basically, or because to kill time, or just to any workshop or any course. You really work out what do you need, what is really the best thing for you first, and then spend money and spend time on something, because you will save yourself a lot of time and a lot of money if you do it. So I would say just be careful and be an observer, not just get emotional about things, but really feel, is it good for you? Is it in your highest good buying this stuff? Can you, and if you feel it's something right, of course, go for it. But be aware that there is a lot of manipulation going on out there. And there's a lot of products that are just completely fake. And the more pretty they look on the outside, on the eye, most likely they don't have any value. The price might be amazing, but it might be just beautiful packaging, but the inside is worth nothing. So just be aware of it. That's basically my message. Just be careful with self-development industry, because yeah, there is a lot of evil people out there that want to use you and manipulate you just to give them a lot of money and whatever else. So yeah, thank you. And what about you? Do you have any advice maybe as well? Because we always share.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much, Nadia. For me, the advice would be like, I think it's the same as well. If you want to buy products, there are actually some coaches online. Joy and Mixi, they are good. You test their products as well for free for 2 months. Yeah, they do coaching online. So you do their program for 2 months without paying anything. But then after, you have to pay, I think it's $40-something online. And they have everything that you can ever imagine. Like you learn from relationships, from their different coaches. I am with them learning a few things. I think I'm gonna start paying this month, but I've enjoyed the past 2 months. I've learned so much. And that's why I had to get Dr. Bigot as my accountability partner. The good thing with their program is you can't skip and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. So it's like I'm doing a degree. Hey, Stephen, we love you too. Love you too, Nadia. Stephen says love you. Yeah, so yeah, so the advice that I'll give is you have to make sure you are ready. And when you buy someone's products, you have to speak to the people who have gone through that person and find out how they go on, because it's nice when you talk to people that have done it. So it's nice. And or if you are finding those programs yourself, just don't just go and buy. Just test it first, and then buy the products and be willing to do the work. There's no such thing as magic pill for one day you read something and then tomorrow you feel like magic. No, there's no such thing. Everything requires your work. So if you are looking for coaches at Ngozi Talk Shows, we are here Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. UK time. And we have all different coaches from all walks of life. If you want to work with them, please get in touch with them through our page. And live with grace, everyone. And thank you, Stephen, for your support. And God bless you.